Hello everyone, I'm Hendrik Marwanaya, together with my colleague Monica. We are from PATTIMURA University in Indonesia. Now we are going to present our research on developing a project-based academic speaking course for EFL undergraduate students. So why project-based learning? So first, this instructional model promotes academic rigors and soft skills. Academic rigors relate to the quality of the assignments from the teachers or lecturers, while soft skills relate to critical thinking, communications, and collaboration skills. Another reason is due to paradigm change in education, as we all aware that the instructional designs should engage the students. Students should be active and learning activities should be authentic. In addition, a number of studies include meta-analysis prove that project-based learning is superior and effective when it comes to long-term retention, skill development, and student as well as teacher satisfactions. So, what is project-based learning? Project-based learning, according to Thomas, is an instructional model that organizes learning around the project. It requires in-depth inquiry over an extended period of time, students self-directed to some extent, require presentations of the results, involve students in a constructive investigations, and realistic. So now this is about academic speaking course in English department, in which we both are the instructors of the course. Now that Indonesians implement new curriculum in higher educations, this new curriculum is known as KK&I curriculum. This is basically a framework of qualifications-based curriculum. This new curriculum is basically response to the need of the workplace, the nature of today's world that requires specialized knowledge and skill. In this case, the ability to communicate, collaborate, generate ideas include ability to collect, synthesize, and analyze information. So it is intended to prepare students for a productive life and also concerned with learning how to learn strategy. So for the academic speaking course is basically the last of the series of speaking course catered by English department. The focus of this course is to improve public speaking skill, the ability to ask and answer questions effectively. It's also focused on skill of describing data, illustrations, or table intelligibility in speaking, as well as fluency and accuracy in delivery. So now this is about the method. This research is a research and development. The process of designs and development follow the procedure of ID model that consists of analysis, designs, development, implementations, and evaluations. The design model was developed from reviewing, synthesizing relevant literature on project-based learning, stimulate design tasks, and real-life project. So this is ID development framework. After we review project-based learning literature, we map the element of project-based learning in ID development framework as shown in figure here. Sorry, excuse me. The design contained the theme, The design contained the themes and learning objective, type of project, project activity, instructional design, from planning, implementations to report, timeline, supporting materials, and monitor. We also in the development sections, we define the theme, type of project, and learning objective, develop project activity, That is how we scaffold project activity. We start from modeling, practicing, develop supporting materials, develop instrument for monitoring and evaluations. This is formative evaluation, implementations, and finally is the evaluation. So here is the initial designs. We start with 4 projects: photo voice, talk show, oral presentations of a mini resource, public speech, or tech talk. So these 4 projects are selected to respond to the goals of this course, and of course to prepare the students for their future life. Oral presentations of a mini research is a small group project that requires the group to do a simple research to address the local problem. Students determine the topic, they do a research and present the results in front of the class. The presentation concluded with a question and answer. Public speech or tech talk here is an individual project that requires students to talk about their life experience, their involvement in social or community organizations, in competitions, and this involvement have moral value and renewal idea to share with others. The talk show project here is another individual project. This is like an interview. The student play the role as the host and guest. The content is based on the background experience of the guests, in this case the students. So the photo voice projects up here is a small group project that deal with social problem, where students capture the problem in the form of photo and discuss this photo with the audience in public. So this is the theme here, and then we have the goal and objective, the type of project, goal and objective, instructional structure that contain planning, implementations, and report, and the detail that we have on planning include that they are introduce the project, determine the topic and the scope, form the group, discuss the objective and assessment, set the timeline, and then the implementation is where the student gather and construct data or information. They have to present the progress in the classroom, discuss the data, language and text organization, and then provide feedback from the students as well as from the instructors. And then the last is the report stage. So this is the time allocation for the initial designs. We allocate 1 week for planning, 2 weeks for implementations, and another 1 week for the report. So supporting material here, this contain the model. This is a video, audio-visual materials, video presentations, and then analyze the presentation structure, identifications, formulating, data collection. It's like how to collect data, how to analyze data, and provide a descriptions on the data, and then the presentations, question and answer, and then assessments. We focus on ongoing informal evaluations here. So that is the initial design. So the next is about validations. So we have internal validation. This is expert validations to validate the usability of the course development. We use rating scale from 1 to 4, in which 1 represents strongly disagree and 4 represents strongly agree. The assessment focus on type of project, that is about the relevancy of the project to the need, instructional structure, time allocations, scaffold activities, supporting materials, monitoring and evaluation. This is basically about the instrument that we develop to monitor and evaluate the progress. So then we have the external validations. It is a field implementation with 62 students enrolled in academic speaking course. So external validation focus on the impact of the course development on learning outcome. In this case, academic speaking performance, learning experience, and satisfactions. We use questionnaires and oral performance to get the data. For pilot in academic speaking class, we divide the students into two classes. Here. And because of the last class, so we have to split them. So class A has two projects. It's contained of 31 students, and they have the class has two projects: photo, voice, and speech or tactile. While class B has another two projects, that is oral presentations of a mini research and talk show. So this is about the participants. So first is the instructional design team. So there are 3 lecturers that involved in the development of this course. 3 experts in instructional designs and development. We have 62 students who enrolled in academic speaking course. The students were divided into 2 classes. Class A and Class B, and each class has different project to deal with. So now we move to the next slide. It's about the result. So this is the results of our final designs, final development of the project-based academic speaking course. Like as we have mentioned earlier, that we developed 4 projects for the course, and this designs was revised from the previous designs. So we get feedback from the expert related to the selections of the sample model and the design activity that should give student opportunity to develop creativity and critical thinking skill. Another improvement related to the inclusion of the instrument for monitoring and evaluating the students' progress. First, the checklist used by the student for self-evaluations. It was suggested that the checklist should be in the question form that allows students to reflect on their progress, while the checklist for monitoring or assess or evaluating student progress contain mainly the content, organizations, and delivery. This is about the fluency and accuracy in presentations or in delivery the information to the audience. Feedback from the field evaluations. In this case, the student concerned more about providing sufficient sample models and time allocation for each project assignment. Like the previous designs, we have only allocated 4 weeks for each project, but then it was revised after the implementations, during the field implementations, and from 4 weeks to 5 weeks for each project. So if you look at the designs, we start from the theme. The theme are grouped into 3 broad parts related to the local issue, global issue, and revolutionary idea. So this is basically this is the map of the course for photo voice projects. And as we have explained previously, so we have goal and objective here. The goals and objective, and we have the instructional structure, planning, implementation, and project. So this is the time allocations. Okay, now we move to the result. So this is the final design after validating by the expert and the student. So the design was revised from the previous designs. Feedback from the expert relate to the selection of the sample model and the design activity that should give student opportunity to develop reactive and critical thinking skill. Another improvement relate to the inclusion of the instrument for monitoring and evaluating the student progress. First, the checklist used by the student for self-evaluation was suggested to be in the question form that allow them to reflect on their progress, while checklists for monitoring and evaluating students' progress by the instructor contain mainly the content, organizations, and delivery that deal with fluency and accuracy. Feedback from field evaluations, in this case the student, concern more about providing sufficient sample model and time allocation for each project assignment. At the initial stage, initial designs, the team allocate 4 weeks for every project, but the final evaluation suggests 5 weeks for each project. So if you look at the design, we start from the team. The team is grouped into 3 broad categories: the local issue, global issue, and revolutionary ideas. So if you look at the photo voice project, is concerned with the local issue. Goal and objective are explicitly defined based on the characteristic of the project. The objective is mainly to improve the students' academic speaking skill. Instructional structure, there is no much revisions in instructionals in the detail of the instructions from planning, implementation to report. So time allocation here, in previous design we only allocate 4 weeks, but it seems not enough to complete the project. So based on evaluations, we extend the time to 5 weeks for every project. Supporting materials are audiovisual and printed material that were selected to match the characteristic of the project. The material contains sample model, audiovisual and printed materials, guided questions to analyze the sample model, exercise to support students to work on a given project, language use, and template. So supporting materials are taken from various online sources and are organized under the pattern model, exercise, discussion. Evaluations contains formative and summative evaluations. For formative evaluation, the instructional team developed 2 types of checklists, one for the students to reflect on their progress and the other one for the instructor used to provide feedback on the students' performance. So every project has the same structure. So this is the structures of the photo talk show project, oral presentation project, and speech or TED Talk project. So the next slide is the results of validation. This is about expert validations. We can see that the model is acceptable as inter-rater reliability is 0.800 with an 95% confidence interval, indicating that the validity of the model is acceptable. So the mean score was 3.52, ranged from 3.5 to 3.53 on the scale of 4 to 1, with 1 indicating strongly agree and 1 with 4 indicating strongly agree and 1 indicating strongly disagree. So another is student summative evaluations on the individual project. Here we have the student to assess the type of project, the sample model and activity, supporting materials, time allocation for each project, whether it is sufficient to develop their content knowledge, fluency, accuracy in presentations. So the results indicate that the design was very useful, as we can see that the p-value is less than 0.1 on every project. Now we move to the results of students' academic speaking performance. We can see that the students' academic speaking performance progress in terms of their content knowledge, presentation skill, organizations, ability to describe data, fluency, and accuracy in their presentation from these two projects. Oral presentation mean score of the pre-test was 3.80, increased to 9.16 in the post-test. So this is similar to the results of the student in the other class, that is the student from class B with photo, voice, and tech talk project. As we can see that the mean score of the post-test was 62.87, increased to 87.93 in the post-test. So that is the results of the students' academic speaking performance. As we are also interested to know students' level of confidence in academic speaking performance, we also record the students' level of confidence. So the data indicate that all students were confident with their academic speaking performance. They provide positive view in terms of their ability to describe data well in their presentation in English, their ability to organize and present their idea and information well in English. They feel confident that the audience understands what they say in English. They feel satisfied. They know what they say about the content, and they respond well to any inquiry addressed to them. So these are the student view that indicate the level of their confidence with the project assignment. Now we move to the next, that is the learning experience. So it deals with whether they work collaboratively, they explore information. Here we see that most of the students provide positive view on the learning experience in terms of work collaboratively, explore information, share knowledge, practice the language independently, invest their time, participate in group discussion, and reflections on their performance. So now we move to the next, that is the conclusion. So this study was a developmental investigations of constructing and validating a model of project-based academic speaking course in EFL undergraduate program. So the development of the project-based academic speaking course integrates two distinct features, the micro level and the micro level design. At the micro level, the design contains the goal, type of the project, project description, instructional structure, from project plan to project report and assessment. This is basically related to the syllabus of the academic speaking course. And at the micro level, which is related to the lesson plan, the design contains learning objective, instructional structure, time allocation, scaffold, project activities, supporting materials, and formative evaluation. So this is systematic design that generate maximum productivity of learning around the project. So the implementations of the final model and the field evaluation show a meaningful progress in students' academic speaking performance in terms of the content knowledge, public speaking skill, intelligibility, confidence, and autonomous learning. So that's all our presentation. Thank you very much for watching.